Okay, so the question begs, when you want to save money, truly and really, where does it start? Let's talk about this. Back in a minute. Good morning, good morning. This is Jan from New York City. Channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money, and I truly love helping people keep some more of their own hard-earned money, and that includes myself. And never forget the words hard-earned money. Okay, once you really get a grip on that, you might think twice about throwing that money around. I'm just saying. So, where does saving money even begin? Does it begin at the grocery store? Does it begin with let's say, eliminating frivolous spending? That's definitely part of it. But in order to get to those places, one has to make up their mind. And to be honest with you, that's the hardest part of all, getting our mindset ready to save. Because some people view saving as, well, not that important. That's kind of humorous. It comes becomes not that important, but then all of a sudden it becomes really important when you're really down to the nitty-gritty, when the chips are down, when you really, really need that cash to get through the month. Is it important then? People tend to procrastinate. There's always tomorrow. Well, not really. There's not always tomorrow. There's many times tomorrow and almost every time tomorrow, but there's not always tomorrow. I know it goes against some pretty words from a pretty show that we like to watch every year and a beautiful song, but we're not talking about that. There's not always tomorrow. We have to take actionable steps today. We need to take saving or keeping money or being a little bit more appreciative of our own effort. Think about this for a second. When people like to eat out, even though their budget really doesn't say you really should do that, and you do it anyway, that's like saying you threw away a ton of hours of your labor, of your work, just for a meal that more than likely, in all honesty, could have been made cheaply and simply and frugally from the comfort of your own home. People don't factor in all the things that go into going out to eat. Well, when I like to go out to eat, I like to make sure I'm dressed nicely. This is just me. I'm just saying, okay? Then, of course, you have to reserve that extra time, right? Then, once you're there, it's many times a gamble because are you 100% guaranteed that you're going to get your dish the way you like it perfectly done? Not really. Not really. Here's the difference when you're at home. And before I forget, the unexpected big bill. Sometimes people factor in other things into the tab that you didn't put into the bill, like when you calculated earlier. That is, if you took a minute to think about that. Many people, when they go out to eat, they don't calculate what it might be. But that's for another show. At least when you're at home, you more or less have a guaranteed better meal. Why? Because you know what's in there. You know how you like to do something. Even when it comes down to making a steak. Let's say you got some great steaks on sale, okay? You got them on a sale, you stocked up, or even if you didn't stock up, you made it a special treat and you get to make it exactly the way you like it. You know when to turn off that stove or oven or whatever way you prepare it and season up your steak just the way you like it. Could be smothered in onions, it could be not smothered in onions, it could be your favorite roll toasted on the side. You see where I'm going with that. That's mindset. That's mindset. And we can make simple decisions and simple changes in order to save. You see, this is the thing. A lot of people think that they have to make drastic changes to save. That is not true. But I'll tell you one thing that is very, very helpful to have a plan. Ask yourself, how much would you like to save as your monthly goal? Or if that's too much for you, how much would you like to save? And break it down into baby bites, chewable little eensy weensy titsy itsy bitsy baby bites. Would you rather think of it in terms of increments per week? Hey, if that works best for you, I say this. Why not? Okay. So if thinking of, some people still do that dollar a day method. Some people have increased it to $2. Some people have increased it to $5. Okay. An easy way to do it is think in terms of fives and tens, even 20s. But let me tell you, there's something about that increment, that five increment, that 10 increment. It just seems to make life easier, at least mathematically, especially if you're mathematically challenged. Like some people I know, talking about Janet. Whatever it is. But the first thing one has to do is change their mindset. Instead of saying, oh, that's too hard. Well, sometimes things in life could be a little bit of a challenge, but how boring would it be if we never ever challenged ourselves? So why don't we raise the bar to savings and say, you know something, this week I'm going to save $50. I am going to find ways to save $50. And if you fall short and end up saving $40 instead, well, that's still way better than the $20 maybe. You see where I'm going with this. But do things with a good mindset and with a goal and with a purpose and with a reason. I think we spend too many days making up useless and ridiculous excuses. Unfortunately, people like to put things off. All of us at some point put something off too many times. We need to make savings again a priority. You can't invest unless you save. You have to start somewhere first. You can't invest with zero. I wouldn't want to invest with zero. I want to have something to fall back on should that investment, well, not work out. This is the way I think. Everybody thinks differently. I'm just sharing an opinion. But let's get back to the grassroots basics. We have to want to save. Can we find simple ways to do it? Yes, we can. Even if it starts at the grocery store. That's why many times I try to dial it back and let's figure out ways that we could save at the grocery store. Sometimes we just make silly excuses, or we just don't feel like this, or just don't feel like that. If I went according to all the things that I feel like doing or don't feel like doing, I'm not sure I'd get that much work done in a given day. What I do is erase that. Sure, is it more fun to have a day of leisure as opposed to a day of working? Leisure is fun. Let's be honest. Leisure is fun. But so is work, in a way. There's nothing like that feeling of gratitude at the end of a hard or soft earned day, if you know what I'm saying. To look back and say, boy, I'm really glad that I got that goal accomplished. And then if you could hit savings goals on top of it, there's no other feeling like it. The choice is ours. It's always our choice.